welcome aboard.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello, everybody.
I feel like we haven't done it live in a while, but really it's just been a week because it was Eli's birthday last week and we're back. And I have to say that scheduling this live has been quite challenging lately.
Yes, and it still might be. It still might be because we're still working out the schedule between my schedule and Michelle's schedule, and lots of guests wants to come here and everybody
Yes,
wants to come.
it's been a challenge. As soon as we switched it to this day, because Monday was too busy, Sunday became extremely busy too.
Yeah.
But what we're going to share with you today, I want to get this started because it needs to go in the oven and roast for a little bit, is a roasted Brussels sprout with walnut and cranberries. So this is a really easy and good thing to have as a Thanksgiving side, or honestly you can have this anytime. It's oil-free, it's whole foods, and we got a baby that's not going to be in the Brussels sprouts, but she's good. Okay, so I've chopped up a pound of Brussels sprouts. You can have them or quarter them depending on how big they are. And now I'm just going to make a little sauce. So this is what I'm going to kind of marinate them in. I've got maybe like a quarter cup of water. I might add some more there. And actually, can you use a spatula to get that out? I have a teaspoon of maple syrup and a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And I'm going to put it all in there.
Okay.
It's too big, yeah. Then I'm going to just add some salt and pepper to the Brussels sprouts. Now, you might see like traditionally Brussels sprouts being roasted in oil. They roast fine without oil, and the reason I'm adding a little bit of water is just to provide a little moisture in that Dijon and maple syrup to just kind of coat the Brussels sprouts. So just mixing that water, Dijon and maple syrup together, and I put a little bit of salt and pepper on. Can you get the baking sheet? And I put that there. I've preheated the oven to 425 and it just beeped, so it's all set. And then, yeah, so you can see. So now these are just coated. That's literally all I'm doing. And then I'm just going to pour it onto the baking sheet. And yeah, you can spread it out. Just, you know, whenever you're roasting any kind of vegetable, oil-free, you want to just make sure they're not really touching as much as possible. So that way they have like the most opportunity to get nice and crispy.
All
So
sides.
that is that. And I'm just going to pop it in the oven.
Right.
Yeah, 15 minutes I'm going to go for it, and we'll see how this goes. Maybe
This is so good, guys. You really need to try this. And we also having this video ready for you guys for the next day. It's, oh my gosh, it's another delicious thing.
Yeah, so we have, I've come up kind of with like an entire Thanksgiving dinner that you can have. It's all going to be whole food plant-based. It's all going to be vegan and just coming from whole food sources, because I got the inspiration for this from a client. So if you're watching, Chantel, this is completely for you. And I figured that lots of people might be struggling. Maybe this is your first Thanksgiving when you've decided to eat plant-based, whole foods. Maybe it's your first vegan Thanksgiving and you just don't know what to do, or you don't know like what to have. And personally, those like tofurkeys, what are they?
Yeah, everybody
Tofu,
expects
turkey.
like the fake.
Yeah.
What is it called? Turkey, right?
Yeah.
They just expect like, okay, well, if it's vegan, well, it has to look like a, you know, like a turkey, and it has to be like, texture has to be like turkey. And like,
It's not gonna be.
Yeah, it's not gonna be, and if it's gonna be probably so processed and so kind of weird looking. And the cabbage is the closest thing that we've seen people make as a like the texture of a turkey skin. And okay, whatever. This
But
is
still,
all choice.
at the end of the day, you're just eating a cabbage.
Yeah,
So
it's just eating the cabbage, and it's probably okay. It's probably marinated well, but you know what? Why just scratch this off and just make something that is really delicious? It's still very cozy. It's still very like
very
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
Yeah,
taste.
yeah. The candles and the climate, you know, it's like it's awesome, right? So that's kind of what she come up with, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are gonna love it. It's
So the
pretty
main
good.
course I'll be sharing with you guys on Tuesday's video, and I won't give away what it is, but it turned out really well, and the use of just really cozy, fresh herbs like rosemary and parsley and thyme and
You're not gonna, I think you're gonna say more, so I'm like,
no, I'm gonna stop. But it is a substantial like main course, depending on if you're having a Thanksgiving of 4 people, or if you have a bigger Thanksgiving, you could make a couple of them or 3 of them and just have them along your table. People are gonna like this. It tastes very hearty to me, and dare I say, meat-like.
Yeah, I
like
think
the
it
animal
does.
meat taste, but it's really like
Yeah.
hearty.
Yeah, I think you guys gotta see it, and you're gonna be really excited. I got excited because I was always looking for a substitution for a Polish kind of like a typical dish where you have like a, you know, like a ground beef, or like you have a cutlet, what we call the cutlet, which is basically, what is it, like a Parmesan chicken kind of a thing?
Kind of.
Yeah, but it's not a Parmesan chicken and it's not a ground beef, but it's beautifully made and it's so delicious, full of flavor, and you can put the mashed potatoes with this, or like even, you know, chopped like potatoes, some good pickles, or some good like a you know, sauerkraut with this,
I'd
or
say
some
it's definitely
salad.
like a man kind of.
It's a man, that's
Yeah,
definitely.
a man would feel very satisfied eating it.
After
I think
hunting
it's good
for
really too.
vegetables.
I think it's really good too, but it's more like a hearty kind of thing. But the cool thing about it is it's completely from whole food sources and all plants. So anyways, so with the upcoming weeks coming before Thanksgiving, I'm going to do a little bit of lives with some of the sides, and I'm going to do some actual videos with the sides as well. So if you, that's why I'm starting so early, so if you don't know what to cook for Thanksgiving, here's your entire menu. I'm going to just share with you week by week some more recipes. And the cool thing about these recipes also, they're just recipes. So if you're watching this in the future and it's not even close to Thanksgiving, you can still totally eat this.
You can do it every year, or
Oh, you like that idea?
The good news, I don't know if you want to talk about, but Michele just finished her new book, and I just need to like design it and everything. It's going to take me probably a week or two, but I'm super excited because she read it to me like what it is, and you guys are going to love it. I'm telling you, we were thinking to scrap the first book that we have, the Be Vegan, Skip the Diet, Just Eat Healthy, but we decided not to because there's so many recipes there also that it's just I think it's bad to just get rid of it. Like they're so good.
I initially was thinking to get rid of the Be Vegan, Skip the Diet, Just Eat Healthy because I do have, that was when I was first starting to go like learn about the perils of oil in your diet. And so now when I work with weight loss clients and I talk about, you know, not having oil, my cookbook has oil. So I was still really like conflicted about that. But if you don't care about oil, or if you want to have oil on occasion, or if you want to make things like brownies and chocolate chips bread and challah, things that aren't like, you know, like weight loss ideal foods, but they're still vegan and they're still really good. So we talked about it the other day.
Yeah, it was like, okay, the book stays, and the next book is coming very soon, guys. I'm very excited to work on it. It's going to be beautifully made. You know, you guys have to realize we are here as self-learners, and we never hire any people. Like we hired some people once in a while, and they charge us so much money. I'm like, you know what? I can learn it. I can try to do it on my own. We both have an artistic eye, so without like talking about myself all the time, but I'm so proud that we can actually do it together, and I think you guys will really love it.
I think so too.
I feel like in the Apple keynote, presenting a new gadget. Like it's so crazy. I'm selling stuff.
The cool thing about this cookbook too is I really wanted to have something that was going to be a complete meal plan for weight loss. If you want that. If you don't want that, the recipes are still really, really good, and they're all oil free, and they're all whole food or minimally processed ingredients. So,
and they're all delicious. That's the
really
main
good.
thing. Like some people will say, oh no oil, like oh I don't know about that. You know,
sometimes
like,
the no, I hesitate to pick you up.
Yeah, I know. If something like that.
Sometimes no oil, you know, doesn't taste great. Those recipes aren't so great.
They're just like, nah.
These are really tasty, and I've had quite a bit of family members try them out
and friends too,
and be satisfied with them. So
a lot of people really want
really good. What else? I'm just trying to fill this 15 minutes and just give you guys some information.
If you have questions, just ask.
If you're watching live and you want to if you have a question, please let me know. So something about this meal that is good with the walnuts. The walnuts are good for your heart health. They're a good source of oleic and linoleic acid. So if you're having, you know, obviously you don't have a ton of fat if you're dealing with any heart disease, but as far as whole fat plant sources go, walnuts are really good. They're really good for brain health. They're high in omega-3s. I always recommend chia seeds and hemp seeds and flax seeds for their omega-3 benefits, but walnuts are one of the nuts that has the highest amount of omega-3. So they're good to throw in there too. Obviously you want to get organic and raw if you can.
And they actually look like brain, which is amazing. And you probably heard about it, but like it looks like brain, and it's actually good for the brain.
I forget what that's called. It's like where the food mimics the part of the body that it helps. So walnuts are definitely good for brain health. Avocado is supposed to be good for when you're pregnant and
so asparagus is good for my legs. No, but I know what
I'm
you're
sure you
saying.
guys have seen those things on like the internet just floating around.
Carrots from my fingers.
Silly. Okay, walnuts are good for a sleep aid. Sorry, I just have my little notes here.
They're very good for teeth.
That's a beautiful tea. And so Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are part of the cruciferous vegetable family, and those are really good anti-cancer. They're anti-inflammatory as well. Let's see what else. They have lots of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. They're high in fiber. Of course, lots of vegetables are high in fiber. These are high in vitamin C, vitamin K. So lots of really good benefits. Cranberries, check these. Can you show them these cranberries? These are dried cranberries, but they're like the hardiest dried cranberries I've ever seen. Can you see that? No?
Kind of not really.
Boo, phone quality. Maybe
Yeah,
new phone
so the
quality.
idea is this. We just got a new camera, Sony ZV-1 for vlogging, and we were thinking to do the live, but it's so complicated, and Sony didn't like release the update. It doesn't matter. So please be patient with the quality of the live. As soon as the new iPhone comes out, probably 12, it's supposed to be next week. So we're gonna get it, and probably the quality hopefully will be much better, especially the sound. We know about it.
Yeah, I
we
know
heard
that
about
this
it.
phone has
We just
the
don't want to
sound
spend too
problem,
much
so
money
sorry.
now just to buy something that's going to be older in a matter of few days. I'm very sorry about it.
But so anyways, these cranberries, we like to switch subjects constantly. These cranberries are from natural grocers in the bulk section. If you have a natural grocers, I would totally suggest getting these because I feel like they make this meal really good. You can find, or you can use like the craisins, that would be totally fine also, but these are so plump. If you wanted to, the next step of the recipe, I can show you where if you have fresh cranberries, you could put those in. So anyways, let's see, we've got 3 minutes, let's see how this is going.
That was fast. Are you serious?
I know, because we can talk
For
forever.
just 10 minutes. Yeah, we talked for man, guys. If you ever like meet us from there, just talk to us because we like to talk.
What
It was
else?
actually funny. We've been to Hawaii like I was like a year ago or something. Well, this time, but then the previous time we went like a year ago. And I met my student that I teach dance to like in the middle of the beach, like nowhere, like we didn't even call each other. Like that's so weird.
Listen to you.
Feeling the time.
Filling the time. Okay, so yeah, no questions, so that's totally fine. These are just gonna take a couple more minutes to roast, and you want them to be, you know, a little bit on the crispy edge. I feel like for my oven, 15 minutes is great, but definitely check on them because these are something that you can be like, oh, it's fine, and then you're like, oh, I burned my whole dish.
Yeah.
So definitely check on them. I'm gonna pull them out right now, and then I'm gonna show you the next step and what you want to do. This kind of cooking is super easy. If you were making these for actual Thanksgiving dinner, this is something that you could have somebody else do. You could delegate it away and have them do it just before the meal is ready. Because I feel like these taste really good right when they are fresh out of the oven.
Yeah.
And so it's something that you would make on the day of. The thing that I'm going to share with you on Tuesday is something you can make the night before, which is going to be helpful for you. If you're, you know, it's soul cooked. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So adding that little bit of water with the mustard and the maple really gives it some moisture. And, you know, that's an option. You could possibly do vegetable broth. I haven't tried that, but I think that would probably work as well. And again, I just used about a 1/4 cup, but water works fine. So from there, if at this point, if you had fresh cranberries, I would say put the fresh cranberries in here. I'm not going to do that because mine are already dried. I'm going to take the raw walnuts, and I've got 1/2 cup of walnuts, and I'm going to put them in here. Of course, if you wanted to do less walnuts, you absolutely could. And if you wanted to do more, I would suggest doing about 3/4 of a cup. So I'm going to pop these back in the oven for just a couple minutes. And again, you want to make sure that keep an eye on this because I'm going to say maybe 5 minutes. Because again, the Brussels sprouts, you know, you just need to make sure they don't like, you know, go up into the flames, basically. And also, the walnuts would burn easily too. So I'm just going to keep a close eye on that. What else can I share with you guys? Look at this. Yes, we had some friends come over yesterday who lived down the street, and they gave us fresh green beans. And I almost decided to change what I was going to share with you today and make a green bean casserole, but I am missing a couple ingredients.
We also have a recipe of green casserole.
That's going to be part of the menu for the overall Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
And I might just make a video of that because I feel like we should use these.
That sounds
I'm
good.
missing a
No, I
couple
know.
ingredients.
It should be used definitely, and they're very good. You know what? I don't know if you guys heard this. I love to try vegetables like raw. Like I recently tried raw sweet potato, which I've never done before in my life, and it tastes literally like the carrots to me. Like it's just so good.
You know what I think is really interesting is as you start to eat more whole foods and more raw foods, your palate changes.
Oh.
I don't think that you would have enjoyed a raw potato.
No, but like seriously, the palate changes. Guys, I like literally when like what was it like? What am I? Vegetarian and then vegan, but like when did I start vegetarian? Like 6 years ago? Maybe
I actually don't know.
No, something like it doesn't matter. But anyway, I hate like spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, all those things that are just really good for. I just couldn't. It smells like fart to me. It's just.
But those fart smelling vegetables are so good for your health.
And now I'm like, there's this one day I will never forget. We have the hydroponics in garage, and we grow kale, and I'm like, man, I just want to like pick this thing up and just put it in my mouth. And I feel like this whole freaking long leaf of kale. I'm just like, sounding like, yeah, Earth, this is great.
It's good, and it gives you like that.
It's really great, and this is then like all those earthy like veggies and leaves that just make sense to my palate. I'm like, this tastes so amazing. So anyway, that's awesome. What else we can share?
So as these walnuts are getting warm in the oven here and just kind of cooking a bit, they start to release a little bit of their own oil, which is pretty interesting. And oh my gosh, roasted walnuts, not in like a large quantity because that's a lot of calories in fat, but they're so good.
Yeah, I use the roasted walnuts for pate, for like a substitution of pate, which looks like pate. It's amazing. It's really, really freaking good. And that walnuts make that actually pate like this consistency that is and the taste of it is just unbelievable. So
These cranberries are really good. If you have a natural grocers, go find those. Or maybe probably Whole Foods has something. But it's really fun. Okay.
Yeah. Should we take them out?
Yeah, I think we can take them out.
Take them out?
Take them out.
2 minutes.
We still have 2 minutes. Let me show you these. I'm just going to show you over here how to make it. Have you guys ever had Campbell's brand, like Campbell's soup, bean with bacon before? This is vegan bean with bacon.
And it tastes like very good.
Oh my gosh, as a kid, that was like my comfort go-to. And obviously I don't eat bacon anymore, and I was always like trying to figure out how to make them. And I got the taste down like perfectly. It took me about 3 times to get like that perfect science of Campbell's soup bean with bacon, but it's there, and that's one of the recipes in my next cookbook. That's going to be coming out.
It's
if you like that,
give
me a thumbs up in the comments because
so
maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. Okay, let's take these out. You can pretend that they're a little bit more crispy than they are, just because I don't want to waste your time on a Sunday afternoon, but I do appreciate those of you who are tuning in.
Yeah, who are still watching, you guys. Hey, say something. we like to talk to you guys.
Okay, so as you can probably not see, I just stepped in something sticky. I don't know what that was. So the Brussels sprouts are just browned slightly. I think, in a normal situation, I'd probably leave them in a few more minutes. And then we've got the walnuts there that have just been ever so lightly toasted. Now, I'm going to just put those cranberries in. And I did a half a cup of cranberries, but again, see what you like. Can you put like I don't know, like some kind of serving bowl so I can put it together. So from here, I will taste and see. I love Brussels sprouts. Roasted Brussels sprouts to me taste so good.
How big?
Not too big.
Like a small one?
Yeah, maybe that one. Okay, so I put the cranberries, I put a little bit more salt, I'm going to put some more pepper, and then this is the things that are going to kind of bring it together. Not the things, the thing. Okay, so be careful.
Her hands are basically like a firefighter person.
I don't know why, it doesn't bother me to touch hot things. Okay, but if you need gloves, do it.
That's why she's touching me all the time.
Okay, so I'm going to pour this into a bowl, a serving bowl here.
Me too.
And obviously you can double this recipe. You saw how easy it was to make if you have a larger amount of people. I'm going to take the juice of half of an orange and I'm going to put that on there. Just go for it.
No, it's yummy.
It smells really good.
It smells really
the
nice.
combo of
The whole
all of
house
those
actually smells like.
things together. The salty, savory of the Brussels sprouts and the crispiness of them, and then a little bit of the walnuts. Let me see the walnuts. I think I'm also really just hungry, but to me it tastes really good. Let them just kind of gently combine this
It's
together.
a great cider, man.
Side.
Side. Side.
I'm not gonna tell that story.
What story?
No, I'm not gonna tell it. I don't want to offend anybody.
Oh.
Okay, so you'll never know.
We have offensive stories, I guess.
This is the finished product, and it's really crispy. I'll show you like some of these guys. You can see with the quality of my phone. And then you got the cranberries in there, and it's such a good combo. I want to be more like expressive, telling you what something tastes like. So I'm gonna leave that to my husband because he's better.
It's hot right now. Oh, perfect. Like I have a literally like a Brussels, walnut, and cranberry. I can't wait for the orange to kick in.
How many can use more salt?
Oh wow.
It's like it's a party in your mouth, a flavorful party in your mouth. What do you think?
You know what it tastes like to me? Like when you go to like a banquet. It's a banquet.
Banquet?
Banquet. You go to banquet. You have lots of like sides.
A buffet? A buffet?
A buffet. And there's just hiding this one little good thing that everybody just picks up and like okay, let's put it more and more.
Mm.
That's really good.
That's
It
really
seems
good.
like nothing,
It's
and then you
really
taste
fresh.
it's like more. There's more taste to it by the end of the swallow.
One of the things that I hate the most is mushy vegetables. Well, like you cook the nutrients out. You're not doing anybody any favor
Oh,
by
I
using
see.
mushy
Yeah.
vegetables. So this is crisp.
I don't want too much because they're color.
No, we need to the photo.
But
Because
it's really good.
It's really good. I think you guys will really like this, and you saw how easy it was. I'm going to, after the video is finished processing and we do all of our tags and stuff, I'm going to put a link to the recipe. I want to make sure that you guys have the full recipes for all of these Thanksgiving meals. And so, yeah, so this is the first one. My son is really into spitting lately. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good job.
All right. Okay, guys, that is the recipe. Enjoy and look forward or be excited about the recipes that I have coming up for your full vegan Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys soon.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.